Nightingale is officially upon us, and after spending a whole lot of time grinding this game, I've compiled the best advice I wish someone would have told me when I first started my character. So today, I'm breaking down all my best beginner's tips for playing Nightingale, and if at any point something is helpful for you, then do me a favor and consider leaving a like in the video or even subscribing for additional Nightingale content, as I'm super close to hitting that 300,000 sub sort of milestone on my channel. All right, let's get into it. Let's start broad, and then we'll get a little bit more specific as we go on. So quick overview, right? You're a citizen of the city of Nightingale, but for some reason you got lost in the Fey Wilds courtesy of a portal that you somehow accessed. You meet your faithful Fey guide Puck almost immediately, and he is the main quest giver throughout much of the core narrative of the game. If you're ever in doubt about what you should be doing, check the upper right-hand corner of your screen and follow the active quest. Now, quick tip here, sometimes the text in the upper right isn't too clear about how to achieve something. It'll simply say, acquire this item, craft this thing, find one of these things. But it doesn't tell you, where you should be looking, if that item is even in your current realm, or what type of workstation is required to craft that certain thing. This is where your guidebook comes into play. Open it up, go to the glossary section. Here you can look up the names of items, and the glossary will list out all the required materials and the workstation that you will need to make it. You can also view your journal, as it will provide a lot more clear instructions on how to achieve your current objective. So the text in the upper right of your screen is sort of just the Cliff Notes version. Always consult your journal for more information about what to do next. For example, I have an active goal that says acquire an Astro Major card. And that's like, I don't know, where do I find that? But then if I open up the journal, it'll tell me, hey, here's where you need to go. Here's what you need to do in order to do that. Alright, so we're going to talk in this video about realms, leveling up, unlocking new crafting recipes, and more. Let's start with general progression. A lot of games have a leveling system where doing tasks nets you XP. XP raises your level, and leveling up unlocks new crafting recipes. Nightingale, though, follows a different system for character progression. This is called your gear score, which isn't unlike games like Destiny, where your power level is determined by the combined power levels of each piece of equipment you have on. Nightingale is like this. Your gear score will determine things like what Fey towers and places of power you can access, what materials you can harvest, and how likely you are to survive in any given realm. Some events will require you to have a gear score of 20. Some 40 and above. A middling realm may show a recommended gear score of 20, while other realms may list the threats as 40 and above. And when you approach a shiny rock to break it, it might show you the number 40. That's not how much damage you need to do. That's the gear score that specifically your pickaxe needs to be at in order to break that material and harvest it. So if you want to level up in Nightingale, you're going to have to improve the quality of your gear. First, you'll make makeshift gear, which is sort of the bare minimum to survive in the wilds. You can craft these out in the field as necessity dictates, but once you complete the tutorial and open up your first Abeyance realm, that is your home realm, you'll see on your map an essence trader. There's a merchant, and this is your next stop. This merchant will sell you the crafting recipes to create simple tools. These will each have a gear score of 20. So your next goal is to create all the armor and tools and weapons to bring your total average up to 20. This is a little bit of a grind, and you'll have to improve your base, create unique workstations, and go out hunting animals for resources. If you're low on essence dust to buy these things from the trader, I found that at least in the swamp biome, I could just harvest water spinach. As it is bountiful to say the least, it's everywhere, and breaking it down for essence gives you a better return than any other readily available resource in the early game that I've found. So farm essence dust, buy literally everything that the merchant sells, everything in his inventory except for just resources. And you will also need to use essence dust to repair your gear as well. Now at the camp where your first merchant is found, there's also your first potential companion. You can hire them to follow you around, help out around the base, harvest materials. You can use them as a second backpack too, which is helpful. Your starting inventory capacity is terrible, so you'll want to craft a backpack as soon as possible. Just note that these companions are not very smart, and if you build your base close to trees, then your companion is extremely likely to chop those trees down, and they will fall on your house and your other builds and completely destroy them. A lot. So, build in a clearing if possible. I learned this the hard way. Otherwise, you'll have to chop down any close trees that sprout up yourself. And when you do, put your back to your base, as the tree will fall in a random direction, but I have never had a tree fall towards me as I chop it down. So put your house or your base to your back. That way it won't fall back and damage your structures. Now, a couple of quick tips that are big quality of life upgrades for you. When you're harvesting resources, instead of picking up every item individually, you can simply hold E to collect everything on the ground around you at once. Some items are difficult to find in the tall grass. This fixes that problem for you. Another tip, when you build something like a roof or a wall and then decide, you know what, I don't like that there. If you press X, that will put you in the building editing mode. And from there, you can just hold V with your reticle on the thing that you want to destroy, and you will immediately break it back down into resources again. So no need to chop away at your build. You can just deconstruct things quickly and easily that way. Another building tip, you don't have to build scaffolding to reach high up things that you're trying to build, and you don't have to grab all the resources from a chest and then run them up to the second story where you're building something new. Right? Your build is all connected as one. You can simply grab the items from your chest that you need to complete a build that's in a different part of your home, just face a nearby wall and press E, and it will send the components all the way up or over to whatever part of the base needs them. So this saved me a lot of over-encumbered trips upstairs to complete builds that were far away. Alrighty, next up, let's talk about how to unlock new realm cards and crafting recipes outside of purchasing them from merchants. Once you've settled into your Abeyance realm, you'll eventually be tasked with completing the Antiquarian Site of Power. This is marked on your map. You'll go there once your gear score is 20, and you can then clear the place out and have a little boss fight at the end. Bring healing salves for the fight. You'll be rewarded with the knowledge of how to craft an antiquarian card. You'll need to make an enchanter's focus workstation in order to craft cards. Now, to put things into a healthy perspective here, realistically, you're going to be looking at anywhere between 5 and 8 hours of total game time in Nightingale before you have your antiquarian card crafted and you're ready to open a realm portal into your first new realm outside of your Abeyance realm. And once you open that new realm, you'll have a new quest giver there who will give you a couple of tasks to complete. But the real goal here is to farm tier 1 essence, and I'll talk about how to do that efficiently in a minute. Tier 1 essence is a very important currency in the early game. It's used for two main purposes. First, it's used to enhance your current gear at an upgrade workbench. So you'll be granted the ability to make an upgrade workbench by doing the main quest. Then you'll lay your armor down on the bench and infuse it with tier 1 essence to elevate its stats and gear score up to level 40. You can then use infusions to elevate that gear up to level 42 and give it additional qualities like extra health regeneration or better durability. So this becomes the next major phase of your grind, acquiring enough tier 1 essence to elevate all of your gear up to a minimum of 40. The second thing you'll use tier 1 essence for right now is to buy literally everything that the merchant in your new realm is selling. Every crafting recipe, every base upgrade, anything they're selling for tier 1 essence, you're gonna wanna buy. Building new furniture and higher level elements at your base will increase your comfort level and give you stat bonuses. Another thing to note quickly, you can freely travel back and forth between your Abeyant home realm and your new realm that you just opened up. So don't worry about it closing behind you. Just go to the new realm, gather all the essence and resources that you can, and fast travel back home and store them. Then walk back to the portal and you can just reopen it and head back into the new realm and continue your grind. Now this is super important. Gathering tier 1 essence is very, very easy if you know where to look. You're going to want to thoroughly explore this new realm that you opened up and complete every single puzzle and challenge that you find. Occupations, puzzles, bastilles, all of these can award you lots of tier 1 essence on completion, as well as new fun crafting recipes to spice up your home. Travel around the map and do every one of these that you find. You'll have a nice stockpile of essence when you're done, and it will be enough to elevate all of your gear. Once you've got all of your gear up to snuff at 40 plus, then you can go ahead and complete the Fey Tower activity that will be your main quest objective at that point, which will give you your first special item to open your own portals. And from there on out, you're basically on your own. It's sort of like a, I don't know, 8 to 10 hour tutorial basically in Nightingale just to get to that point. So craft cards, build portals, start exploring new realms and leveling up your gear so you can clear new sites of power like the Astrolabe once your score is high enough to enter it. Keep finding new merchants out there, ascend more of your gear, enhance your base, and become a master Realmwalker. Unfortunately, all the cool looking steampunk characters that you see on the branding for this game, you're not going to look anything like them until you're probably 15 to 20 hours into the game. You're going to look like an early American settler with a turban for a long time. But eventually you'll start living that gas lamp fantasy life in Nightingale. Thanks for watching the video. I hope it gave you some direction and a better understanding of the world. Please feel free to leave any questions in the comments section about stuff that you're confused about so I can make follow-up videos breaking down more tips for curious gamers. Be warm and well fed, my friends, and I hope to catch you out in the Feylands. Bye-bye.
But perhaps not all is lost. For Nightingale still stands, pushing forward towards progress and enlightenment.